Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. Man, I love you all. Truly. Thank you all for helping to continue to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. We getting there, folks. We deserve the beauty of peace, love, respect. True indeed. Man. So let's keep going forward, right? Let's go and take it. Let's reach out and grasp our new paradigm and bring it into fruition, right? Hey man, we've been working. We've been going through a lot. We have earned it, right? So please help me to continue to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect, like, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know, tell some folks you don't know. All right. Um, man, beautiful setting, right? Love to be by the water. This is the Allegheny River, right? Um, one of the four rivers here in Pittsburgh, PA, aka Ga, right? True ancestral name of these lands. And the fourth river, the underground river, a lot of people don't know about. But anyway, man, another beautiful day, true indeed. And through a turbulent night, and folks, I told you before, I have not had a bad day in over 6.5 years, right? And that's true. But I told you I also still go through things like everybody else. I just process it a lot differently, at least than I used to. So last night was a night with a little bit of turbulence, right? And we just processed that, only to wake up and embrace a new beautiful day filled with beauty, and to see that not only in the land and God's expression, New Earth, but in the people, right? You know, and the beautiful people I come in contact with in my daily course of spreading peace, love, respect, right? Um, Folks, we are changing. I know it's hard to see. I know it, I know it because I told you that toward the as we progressed in paradigm shift, right? As we push the darkness back, right? As we say goodbye to the old paradigm and usher in our new paradigm, that those energies, the low dark energies of the old paradigm will push back, right? You know, like any threatened being or anything fearing for survival, right? It's going to fight and struggle as hard as it can to survive, to continue on. But that time has passed, right? So you'll see uh, different forms of that energy lashing out, right? Um, but keep in mind truly that it's only the flailing. I think it's a good word. The flailing about of a low energy that is being dissipated off the planet through the spiritual maturation of the human beings on the planet. and through all of us collectively ushering in higher consciousness on the planet, right? But this video in particular, I want to sort of label uh, discovering that lost child. What do you mean by that, Big King? You doing Amber Alerts on your video now or something? Or what? No, no, no. I'm talking about you, folks. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about all of us, right? Um, as children, as babies, we come into this world essentially as our perfect selves, right? Truly, truly, we do. Um, and we embrace this world as we should, but the reality and the fact of the matter and the overwhelming characteristic of the old paradigm is that this world in turn, with all of its indoctrination, all of its hidden agendas and so forth, with the way the old paradigm worked, we were born these beautiful children, and slowly, subtly, but surely, we're transformed by this world, right? No, I'm not saying everybody just becomes some kind of evil, version of themselves. That's not what this is about. I need you to look at yourselves and what you were, and then look at yourself with honesty, right? If you can't be honest with anybody else, be honest with yourself, right? Um, be honest. And what's the difference between the two, right? And I'm not talking about, well, you know this, you know that, you can do this, you can do that. Of course, we all grow, learn, and mature as we continue on this planet. But there's often a change in character, for lack of a better word. That's not really the best word. A change in your essence as a human being corporeally on this planet, and a change in your resonance, right? You come into this planet, folks, multidimensional. All these beautiful little babies. We wonder why they looking around and seem to kind of at times be looking past you, like there's something maybe behind you or in the room. These babies are multidimensional, and it takes several months of living in this world, in this 3D, 4D environment, for them to acquiesce into a state of no longer being multidimensional, but being firmly cemented in the 3D, 4D world. Well, along with that becomes them becoming cemented into the paradigm. And again, all the indoctrinations, all of the things of this world that would sway, mold, shape, and change you, literally change you as you grow. And it can become very difficult to notice, folks, because again, we're supposed to grow and mature. You get older, you learn things, you experience things, you change. You're supposed to change, right? Um, so that makes it all much more difficult for us to accent the ways in which the paradigm has actually changed us. The way that indoctrination, as it's fed to us in so many layers, right? From the time we are literally born on this planet. Our parents feed us certain amount of indoctrination unknowingly, simply because that's the way it's been fed to them. They're not trying to do anything harmful to you. They're not trying to when you folks make decisions and do things that you might would look back on your life and say, well, I'm not going to do that for my child or to my child. And, you know, well, if you feel that that's the better way to go, fine. But don't condemn your parents. Understand that they were doing the best with what they had to work with, literally, and loved you no less than you love your child, right? Um, but folks, we've been going through this for a long time, right? And we needed to, believe it or not. Um, Folks, there's a reason why we go through tough things, because there are hard, very important, right? Powerful lessons to be learned by life's experiences, particularly those that are difficult experiences that are emotionally, mentally, spiritually challenging, sometimes even scarring, right? Um, Experiences to go through in life. But again, as I put in previous video on that subject, those are often the most important and profound lessons for us to learn, right? But again, think back. I know for me, at least, I don't know what it was like for you. You have the stock for yourself. But man, I know when I was a child, my outlook on life was so much different, right? My sense of adventure, just at life, at living, was so different, right? Like literally, life was an adventure with so much in front of me to do, to choose, right? Life was truly an adventure. And my heart sort of shaped my personality, right? Um, as a small child, and my mother tells these stories, and I can remember it clear as day, but she loves to tell stories about how she'd walk down the street with me, hold my hand, and I'd just be waving, saying hi to everybody, and just going down the street, literally like, hi, how you doing? Just a real little guy, right? you know, 4-year-old type cat just walking around greeting the world with nothing but true unconditional love in my heart, right? Because that was my true character, or rather, that is my true essence. And folks, along the way, life shaped and changed that. There was a time in my life where I was starkly, complete night and day different from that. Man, there was a time in my life I would by, be regarded by many and acknowledged even by myself as downright dangerous, right? I've had folks, never will you see me stand on a platform and proclaim to be without blemish, huh? I've done plenty of things I'm not proud of. I've made plenty of mistakes, you know. I've made some huge mistakes and done things I'm really not proud of, right? So anybody out there who feels that way, don't feel alone. And don't condemn yourself. You heard me. Don't condemn yourself. You are simply going through the difficult process of spiritually maturing on this planet. And in an old paradigm, difficult is a true understatement, right? So, I can remember that younger version of me. Many parts of my younger life. I can remember and in recent years as I've gone through this spiritual maturation, all of that has come flooding back more and more, right? With clarity. um, so I can remember and be in touch with that part of myself that as a child just naturally embraced true unconditional love for everybody and everything. That's who I was. That's who I came into this planet as. And again, it was only life and the things I experienced that shaped and changed me into what I had become. And again, like I say, at one time or different points in my life, even not necessarily the kind of person I would that you'd want to know, right? Now there might be some, I'm sure, some friends in my circle and people who know me might say, "Man, you wasn't that bad." But then again, when you look at it objectively, right? Like I've done, because there's the beautiful thing about introspection is you can't lie to yourself. You never can lie to the creator, right? But you surely also can't lie to yourself. So, you know, I acknowledge that. And I think in most quiet times, that acknowledgement is there with most of us, right? It rests with us. We may not actively delve back into it and might not actively sort of replay the situations, scenarios, people, places, and things that have shaped our lives and that have influenced us in a way that we may not necessarily embrace or want to embrace, right? Or would have consciously chosen for ourselves. But that's the whole purpose of life. Listen, if we were to go and be born on this planet, you know, just take us as a species. If we were collectively to have been born on this planet, to arose on this planet, right? Evolved into what we are now. And if it would have all been without any sort of blemish, difficulty, any sort of test, right? Or anything that was challenging, what would we really be doing here? Right? What's the real purpose for that? The truth is, folks, we are born here to go through all those things, right? To be pushed in ways that we couldn't push ourselves or wouldn't push ourselves, right? To be shaped into something that we might not necessarily choose to shape ourselves into, only for us to go through the maturation process to help us to grow out of that which the world has made us, to get back in touch with that child that was lost, the child that you were when you were born into this world, that child that looked upon everyone else and everything with so much love, right? And I'm talking about just general, true, unconditional love, right? The part of you that saw life as one big opportunity. Huh? The part of you that saw life as an adventure to race out to and live. Many of us have lost that, or it has been transformed in us by life's experiences, right? Folks, that's just a natural part of the process, believe it or not. Just as collectively we have gone through so much on this planet. I mean, we've lived centuries, if not millennia, in an old paradigm of misery, pain, and hate. Huh? We've seen countless wars, bloodshed, suffering, and so many different forms of man's inhumanity to man and woman, right? Don't want to forget about your ladies. The women need to truly be honored and acknowledged out there, right? Where would we be without you? Nowhere. I love you all truly. Um, yeah, man. All of us. Look at the children. Look at the children. Look at the 1 year old child. Look at the 2 year old children. Look at the children, man. And I know you can't remember your life at 1 and 2, but they'll give you an example. You were similar. Look in their eyes and see that zeal for life, that excitement, even though they may not express it by getting up and like praying or something like that. They are grateful for life and they feel it, and it comes out in their actions. Now, listen, you might even have some folks, oh, 1 or 2 year old doesn't behave, they bad as can be, man. Again, it's all about what society or what the environment, what the paradigm has shaped us into, right? We have to embrace that inner child, that lost child, understanding that much of what we've become is just the test, literally, folks. And it's just the process. There are many tests along the way of completing the process, completing the journey. Now, there are many of us who have gone through life, however long we live, and we pass, and we never got to come back around or never got to complete the journey, right? We might have left this planet in the same sort of low vibrational frequency mentality that we weren't able to process or didn't have time to mature and process through in our life. And then maybe we came back with similar issues to process through, right? That's karma. That's that energy of unfinished business. Well, now, folks, we're in a new energy. You can drop your karma. You can. I don't care who tells you you can't. You can drop your karma. And we can move forward literally visualizing, right? And when you visualize, it's not just some linear expression. When you truly visualize something in your mind, you can pretty much envision the whole world or the whole 360-degree scope of all that makes up that vision of that happening, that event, that change, that place, that point in your life. that you're reaching out toward and striving to get to. Spiritual maturation, folks. We're always maturing our spirits through our soul's journey here on this planet. Remember, your soul is that part of your spirit that lives the human experience, the human existence, right? So, as we continue forward, and especially for those who have been going through this ascension process for a little while now, you may be getting to that point where you've really matured and come a long way, and you can start to visualize and embrace that inner child, as they say, but I like to say that lost child, that lost part of you, that part of you that came into this world multidimensional and still somewhat connected to the other side of the veil, that came into this world filled to the brim with unconditional love. That part of you that came into this world with a zeal for life, with an excitement for life, with an eye for adventure. Because, folks, how do we think we would go out into this world and accomplish so much and achieve so much as a species without that energy, that push, that zeal for life, that 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 drive and excitement to achieve and to do things in this world, right? Instead, this paradigm has shaped most of us into cogs for the machine, right? Cogs for the corporate machine. Remember the Jetsons? Some of you do. Remember Spacely Sprockets and Coswell Cogs? True indeed. They've the old paradigm essentially changes you into a Spacely Sprocket or a Coswell Cog, right? And you just get in where you fit in. Well, now we're in an energy where we can remember and we can embrace our original mission on this planet, what we're originally here to do. All of us is here to add something to the collective experience, right? Something as we all go through our own individual spiritual maturation, we add something to the collective experience that contributes to the collective spiritual maturation. And folks, believe it or not, we've been doing that for so long. We're actually in a time where that's all coming to fruition, where we are seeing and actually living through the results of that process. And it looks like this paradigm shift. It can be very bumpy at times, it can be a rough road to walk. But we are literally in an energy now where instead of us being forged by our experiences here, we're forging ourselves. And then we're forging the new paradigm that we're going to all exist in. Nothing stays the same forever, folks. That also goes for things that are dark, low vibrational frequency in nature, quote unquote evil, right? Look at my video on that, the difference between darkness and evil. Folks, I got well over 400 videos there. Please don't just catch the latest one. If you're feeling something, you're thinking something, or you're going through something, comb through my videos, and I probably got one in there for you, right? Or at least something that just might resonate with you. Huh? All right. Man, there is a part of us, a template that we come into this world with, a beautiful template that is our true selves, right? We become shaped and molded by the paradigm that we live in. But as we spiritually mature, and especially in this time and in this new energy, we now have the beautiful opportunity to continue through the process and actually achieve the fruition of our spiritual maturity. Hmm? Both individually and collectively on this planet. It's time, folks. This is the energy for it. Look into yourself, huh? Think back as far as you can, not just for the specific memories of I did this on this day and that. Reach back for the feeling. You got to feel this. This is not an intellectual process. There may be things that you work through intellectually that help you grasp the entirety of the process that much more, but to actually go through and gain all that you are to gain from this process, you got to feel it. Huh? You got to feel it. So, as the song goes, open up your heart, let the sun shine in, huh? Embrace the beauty of the world and embrace that inner child, that lost child in you, and start to regrow and mature yourself spiritually from that point, from that template, the one that houses that true unconditional love. Right? All right. Well, folks, I love you all. Thank you. Please, let's continue to build this worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq.